This is Paul Fiore for the 3D brain assignment. We're going to be first looking at three areas of the brain: the hindbrain, the midbrain, and the forebrain. The hindbrain contains the medulla, the pons, and the cerebellum. The medulla controls bodily functioning, heartbeat, and breathing. The pons transmit motor information that regulates sleep and arousal. The cerebellum controls bodily balance. Up in the forebrain, we see the thalamus. Thalamus is the little blue thing there. It's a relay center for the cortex that receives sensory information and redirects it. Next, down the white part, we see the hypothalamus. It has two functions. One, maintains homeostasis, and two, regulates behavior like eating and sex. Next, we'll look at the limbic system. Limbic system, first starting with this blue snaky thing, is the hippocampus. It partakes in early memory storage, forms long-term and spatial navigation. However, memory is not actually stored here. Next, we have the amygdala. The amygdala is adjacent to the hippocampus, and it links areas of the brain that cover higher cognition with the hypothalamus to interact with the senses. Next, the corpus callosum, the burnt brown piece of Play-Doh here, allows information to pass between the two hemispheres. Next, we have the midbrain. Midbrain's right here. The midbrain contains reticular formation, which arouses us for a fight, flight, or freeze response. Next, we're going to look at the 3D image of the entire cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex, this whole brown thing around here, is a new brain because it processes higher mental functions: memory, attention, and perception, awareness, thought, language, consciousness. It's about 2 to 4 millimeters thick. The frontal lobe, this pink thing here, has the Broca's area, prefrontal cortex, orbifrontal cortex, motor, and premotor cortexes. Broca's area has speech production, damage which results in incoherent language. The whole frontal cortex deals with higher cognition, emotion, decision-making, memory formation, and personality. Next, we'll look at the parietal lobe, the white thing down here. The parietal lobe has a somatosensory cortex, the post-central gyrus, the somatosensory association area, which receive tactile information from the senses throughout the body through neural pathways via the spinal cord, brainstem, and thalamus. It integrates the senses to form a picture of the world, allowing us to coordinate our movements. Next, we're going to look at the temporal lobe. Yellow thing here. The temporal lobe has the primary auditory association areas, and Wernicke's area, which borders the parietal lobe. Wernicke's area, pink thing right there, deals with language comprehensions, damage to which, called Wernicke's aphasia, results in unclear, pained, but intelligent language. Altogether, it deals with perception, facial recognition, object recognition, memory acquisition, understanding language, and emotional reactions. Next, we're going to look at the occipital lobe. The occipital lobe, the blue thing here, contains the primary visual area, the visual association area. It receives visual information from the retina, color, orientation, and motion. Once through, the information is either sent along the ventral pathway to the temporal lobe or along the dorsal pathway to the frontal lobe, depending on how it needs to be